It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
And then I'm coming back, I believe it's Tuesday night, for Charlie Kirk, a friend of mine, a friend of all of ours, a friend of a lot of the people right here. And we're giving him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor you get outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. One's military, one's civilian, but it's the greatest honor. And Erika's beautiful wife is going to be here, and a lot of people are going to be here. And then I'm coming back.
The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Charles James Kirk. Accepting on behalf of Charlie is his wife, Mrs. Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk was one of the most influential American political figures of his generation. At just 18 years old, he founded Turning Point USA and grew it into the largest conservative youth organization in the nation. For over a decade, he tirelessly traveled the country, leading a movement to restore respect for our founding principles, reawaken our national identity, and inspire a renewed spirit of religious devotion. He was one of the great debaters and communicators of his time. Despite receiving repeated threats, he remained undeterred and modeled courage, logic, humor, and grace to the next generation. On September 10th, 2025, at age 31, Charlie Kirk was assassinated while addressing a group of students. The United States honors him as a martyr for truth and freedom. The presidential.
Yeah, how did we get all these people to work? I thought we was shut down, but I'm not sure. You know, Charlie Kirk received the Presidential Medal of Honor today, or yesterday, rather, yesterday, of course. Okay, we still a day behind on political commentary, but we're gonna catch back up. We're getting into it. But this was, I got all this information last night. Let's get into more of it.
In his final moments, Charlie testified to the greatness of America and to the glory of our Savior, with whom he now rests in heaven. And he is going to make heaven. I said, I'm not sure I can make it, but he's going to make it. He's there. He's looking down on us right now. As I said, on the day that he was assassinated, Charlie Kirk was a martyr for truth and for freedom. And from Socrates to think, and to St. Peter, from Abraham Lincoln to Martin Luther King, those who change history the most, and he really did, have always risked their lives for causes they were put on earth to defend. He was put on earth to do exactly what he was doing.
Damn, did he just kind of compare him to Martin Luther King? Is that what I heard? Martin Luther King? I don't know about that, dog. I don't know about that. They only got one thing in common, and it ain't fighting for people's rights, okay? If you know, you know. Yeah, so, you know, while Charlie Kirk is looking down on us, Donald Trump says, I might be looking up.
I've always admired your commitment to freedom, and that's something that both of you shared, so thank you. Your support of our family and the work that Charlie devoted his life to will be something I cherish forever, so thank you. To our gracious First Lady in her office for making this event possible, thank you as well. It's beautiful. To Vice President and the lovely Usha fans, your friendship has been an unbelievable encouragement. Thank you. And to all our friends and family that are here and watching from all around the world, thank you for loving us. Thank you for praying for us and for believing in what Charlie believed in. And to our Turning Point USA staff and the Charlie Kirk Show staff, we love you more than you could ever know. And to the Turning Point USA chapters that are watching all across America right now, you are the heartbeat of this future and of this movement. Everything that Charlie built, you guys are the legacy holders of that. You are living proof that his mission did not die with him. It lives through you. And Charlie always said the next generation will decide whether freedom endures. And because of you, I know that freedom will endure. It will. And today we're gathered not only to celebrate Charlie's birthday, but to honor a truth that he gave his entire life to defend, and that's freedom. The very existence of the Presidential Medal of Freedom reminds us that the national interest of the United States has always been freedom. Our founders etched it into the preamble of our Constitution, and those words are not relics on parchment. They are a living covenant. The blessings of liberty are not man's invention, they are God's endowment. Charlie lived for those blessings, not as abstract words, but as sacred promises. He used to love to journal about this topic all the time, and with such a heart postured of gratitude. And he believed that liberty was both a right and a responsibility. And he used to say, freedom is the ability to do what is right without fear. And that's how he lived. He was free from fear. He was free from compromise, free from anything that could enslave his soul. His name, Charles, literally means free man. And that's exactly who my husband was. He was a free man. And from the time I met him, sitting across from him, being interviewed on politics and philosophy and theology, anything that Charlie loved, any topic he loved, and I just saw the fire in his soul, and there was this divine restlessness within him that came from knowing God placed him on this earth to protect something very, very sacred for all of us. And he never stopped fighting for people to experience freedom. He didn't. Charlie often said that without God, freedom becomes chaos. And he believed liberty could only survive when anchored to truth. And I remember in one of his speeches, he told the audience that the opposite of liberty isn't law. He said it's captivity. And that the freest people in the world are those whose hearts belong to Christ. But what's so powerful is that Charlie had the ability to communicate so brilliantly across all generations. And he reminded us that in a world that tells us freedom is doing whatever you want to do, the real freedom is the power to live freely and to do what is right. And in one of his journal entries, he wrote that he wanted everyone to know that you can't have liberty without moral responsibility. Freedom divorced from faith eventually just destroys itself. And what's so fascinating about all of this is looking back these past 12 years of Turning Point USA and his mission, there's almost this veil of sacredness. Because what I realize is that while he was building an organization, he was also building a movement. One that called people back to God, back to truth, and a movement that was filled with courage.
I was thinking as she was talking, and she kept mentioning freedom and freedom. Charlie wanted freedom, and his name represents freedom. What exactly was the freedom he was fighting for? Because I never, they say he's a political whatever, he's a podcaster. Turning Point USA is a platform for conservative youth, right? That's to share political ideas, but he's not a politician. He wasn't changing any laws to make people freer. He would debate people about the laws in the country and people who broke the laws, but I'm not quite sure he did anything that made people feel more free. I don't think he even cared that people were more free. I think he loved God and family more than freedom. Now, he talked a lot about freedom of speech. At the same time, as Donald Trump would say, he wanted to be free, he fought for freedom and stuff like this. In this very moment, your freedom of press is being diminished. So would Charlie Kirk, would he fight for that freedom of press? Would he fight for that freedom? Or will that not align with his goals of being free? I don't know. Free for one, free for all is what I say. We're about to see the most right-wing media coming from the White House, where no liberal news source will be allowed in the White House briefings. And y'all about to see this real soon. And I don't know if this is gonna change the narrative, but it will definitely be one-sided. Today, Donald Trump is declaring October 14th, or yesterday, October 14th, which is Charlie Kirk's birthday, and also, what's that dude's name? I just had his name. Anyway, the guy who got his foot on his neck. Why I lose his name? Anyway, George Floyd. George Floyd's birthday. Yesterday was George Floyd's birthday. Okay, so they share the same birthday, and it will be a national day for George Floyd and Charlie Kirk. Both martyrs, both taken out by hatred, both did bad things in their lives that didn't help the greater good. They were both divisive. You gotta add that in there. Because if you're gonna say it about one, you better say it about both.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as quick as 1 week.